All right, Kayla, here we go. Sorry it's taking me a while to do these, but let's get you some proofs going here. So, number one, off this packet that you pop sent me. Um, so we have some things. So it says E is the midpoint of AD, BA is perpendicular to AD, CD is perpendicular to AD, angle 1 congruent to angle 2, and they want you to prove AB congruent to DC. All right, and the shape we had was a rectangle. Something like that. B, C, A, D, E, and angle 1 is marked, angle 2. All right, so when I look at this, I like to mark it up first to see what's going on. So, all right, so they tell me perpendiculars, so that's these guys here. Perpendicular means they form right angles. E is a midpoint, so that means this is congruent to this, and angle 1 is congruent to angle 2. Now, I want to prove A, B, and DC. That's this piece and this piece. All right, so your goal is to get the triangles congruent. Once you have the triangles congruent, you break off the pieces using corresponding parts congruent triangles, CP, CTC. All right, so now let's see what, now, if angle 1 is congruent to angle 2, that means this part is congruent to this part, because that makes this isosceles triangle in the middle. And this would be a right triangle with a hypotenuse and a leg. So to prove the triangle, I'm going to use HL, hypotenuse leg theorem. All right, so let's start the proof. So, statement reasons. And everybody's proofs can be a little bit different. It depends on who the teacher was. Oops, daisy. Yeah, that's interesting. One sec. All right, sorry about that. So, statement reasons. And like I said, it depends on how your teacher does it. So I'm going to start off, I'll start with 1. E is the midpoint. And that's given. Now, I personally, if I use E as a midpoint, I like to do something with it. And like I do not line numbers. I don't know how your teacher does it. So I do line numbers. So E is a midpoint. Now I'm going to use it. Now, if E is a midpoint, then that means that AE is congruent to ED. AE congruent to DE. And it depends on who the teacher is. I would say definition of midpoint. That's what I would have my kids say. And I would tell them what line I'm talking about based on line 1. So right now I got this part and this part. That's actually the leg of my triangle. So I got the leg. I got that part. Now I'm going to use something else here. Maybe I'll use, let's use these guys, BAAD. You don't have to put all the givens right at the front. Some people do. You don't have to. It's all if you wish. Okay, this is given. And then, once again, I'm going to use it. Now, if BA is perpendicular AD, that means angle A and angle D are right angles. Definition, perpendicular, based on line 3. Now, that's not a right angle. It's not, I mean, it's not, I could say angles are congruent, but it's not going to help me in this problem. So now what I would say here is 5 is triangle ABE and triangle. So I went A to B to E, so I would go DCE, keep them matched, are right triangles. Right? And that's based on line 4, triangle, you know, some, whatever, just explain it. It works. Triangle with right angles is a right triangle. based on line 4. So now that's the triangle. I need that part. So hypotenuse leg has to be a right triangle, a hypotenuse, and a leg. So now I'm missing the hypotenuse. All right, so I'm going to use this one, the angle 1, angle 2. Once again, that was given. So if angle 1 is congruent to angle 2, that means BE has to be congruent to CE. And we don't say definition of isosceles because there's no word isosceles used anywhere in the problem. So what I would say is this: sides opposite congruent angles are congruent. Based on line 6. That's my hypotenuse. It's going to continue over here. Line 8. So now I got the hypotenuse, I got the leg. So now I can say triangle ABE is congruent to triangle DCE, hypotenuse leg theorem, based on 2, 5, and 7. Now, some teachers don't make you put line numbers, and that's great, you're lucky. I always make my guys do lines. And what else? Oh, the last part. This is what we need. So now I got AB congruent to DC, CPCTC. Corresponding parts congruent triangles are congruent, based on line 8. Let's try the next one. All right, so BA perpendicular AC, DC perpendicular AC. Now that first one is that's not a beginner problem. I mean, like, we're just jumping into this. I mean, because that's what was given. This one's actually a little bit better. Prove angle B congruent angle D. Anytime they want you to prove a piece, usually it's the corresponding parts, CP, CTC. And so now they give you this thing. It's overlapping triangles. Oopsies. So that's a B up there. AB, D, C, E was here. And they give you this 1 and 2 marked on the side of the problem. All right, so let's take a look at this. This is the triangle I'm looking at. So if I can separate the triangles, all right, I'm going to separate the triangle. So AB and to C, and the 2 is in this triangle now. And it's going to match up to this one, AC with the D, and the 1 is the little tip down here. The 1 is right there. And I like to see if I can figure out what theorem I'm going to use. So perpendiculars, so hypotenuse, right triangles. Angle 1 is congruent to angle 2. So this angle is congruent to this angle. So it's not hypotenuse leg because I don't have 2 extra sides. But what happens is this. This is in both. AC is in both problems. AC is the same as AC. This is the reflexive property. So I have an angle, side, angle, ASA. That's the postulate we're going to use. All right, so let's get started. So statement, reason. That's a weird line. And I'm just going to get started here. Number 1. Jump right into it. I might as well use the BA. BA perpendicular AC, DC perpendicular AC. That's given. Now when I want to say that they're equal, they're congruent, it's a 3-pack. These 3 parts go together. So then I can say angle A and angle C are right angles. That's definition perpendicular based on line 1. 3, angle A congruent to angle C. And this is all right angles are congruent. I have a worksheet with all the rules on it. I'll see if I can get that over to you. See if I can find one. So this is based on line 2. This is the angle I need. That's the A. So I need ASA. So I might as well get this side right now. So 4, AC congruent to AC. And that's reflexive property. And to reference it, I say C diagram. So that's the side. And now I need this, the last angles that was given. That was nice. Almost there. Angle 1 congruent to angle 2. That's given. That's nice. That's the angle. That's how I know I'm ready to prove it. 6, triangle, however you want to call it, ABC, congruent to triangle. Now I'm going to make it match. So the right angle, up, down. So it'd be C, up, down, C, D, A. And that's angle, side, angle, postulate. Depends if your teacher makes you write that. I'll give you the line numbers though. So once again, it's up. Teacher enforces it. 7. You don't really need these line numbers. 7. What I'm trying to prove: angle B congruent to angle D. C P C T C. Line 6. And the third one here. Let's see, third one. Now I skipped. There's a weird looking one. I just skipped that because I didn't read it. I just skipped it. So B, sorry. A. If there's really an issue, just have your pop email me. M. That's an E. C. All right, that's what it looks like. All right. What's given here? So given AB congruent AC. M is a midpoint. And angle EMB congruent angle DMC. All right, let's look at this. All right, this is a weird one. Let's look at this. AB, AC. All right, I got that. Oh, trying to prove triangle DMB is congruent triangle EMC. So they want these two little triangles down here congruent to each other. All right, so here we go. They first tell us this whole side is congruent to this whole side. Well, if the sides are congruent, that means angles opposite are congruent. So I got those two angles. M is the midpoint. That means this side, this piece is congruent to this piece. All right. So now, I would either need this side here, or I need this angle here to find it. So if I had a side, it'd be side, angle, side. If I had the angle, it's angle, side, angle. This is where they give us this weird EMB. So it says this angle here is the same as this angle here. So I saw in one of your proofs you did something, I think you did subtraction postulate. That's what we're going to do in this problem. We're going to subtract off this part. Therefore, we'll get the same angle. So it's going to be angle, side, angle when we're done. All right, so let's start. So statement, reason, so might as well jump right into this. So number 1, AB congruent to AC. We'll do the easy stuff first. It's given. 2, based on that, angle B is congruent to angle C. And the reason is angles opposite congruent sides are congruent. So that's the angle. Got that. M is midpoint. That's given. Based on that, BM congruent to CM. Definition of midpoint. Anyway, this is reference 1. This is reference 3. So that's the side. So we got the side. All right, so we got the easy stuff done. Now here's the hard stuff. So line 5, given angle EMB is congruent to DMC. Now that was given. So now what we're going to do is we're going to subtract off this part in the middle. So I'm going to say angle DME is congruent to angle DME. And that's reflexive. See diagram. Now once I did that, I'm going to say this. 7. Angle, oh, here's something else you're allowed to do. I don't know if the teacher mentioned it too. I can put my own numbers in this problem. So I'm going to put a 1 here and a 2 here instead of calling them angle BMD CME. So I'm going to say angle 1 congruent to angle 2, subtraction postulate. Or just subtraction. Depends on what your teacher says. And I'm going to tell them what I'm subtracting, 5 and 6. So some teachers make you write out all the words. Well, then you write out all the words if that's what your teacher wants. But that's nice because that's my angle. So I got angle, side, angle. So finally, 8, angle DMB congruent to angle, triangle DMB, triangle EMC, angle, side, angle, 2, 4, 7. And different people do it different ways. So don't be like, oh, my teacher said. Depends on how your teacher goes about it. It all depends. You can have these mixed up in parts. You know, some people start different. Some people put it all at the top. Is what it is. All right. Hope that helped.